I am Generic Redstone Genius, and today we're going to be looking at anti-personnel cannon. So what I mean by anti-personnel cannon is that it's a cannon that targets personnel, which are players, and it doesn't damage the surrounding terrain or any buildings. It does this by firing arrows instead of TNT like a regular TNT cannon. So let's get right into the demonstration. To fire this cannon, you're going to begin by flicking this lever, which blocks off this button which actually fires the cannon. Now what this lever does is begins to shoot arrows down into this little water stream here, and the arrows begin floating in this water elevator. Now you're essentially charging arrows for the cannon to fire, and the more arrows you have, the larger spread it will cover and the more damage potentially it will do. However, you don't want to have too many arrows because one, that wastes more arrows, and two, it can cause the game to slow down a little bit, especially if you're in a server. But once you feel that you've had enough arrows charged up, you can then unflick the lever and then fire the cannon. And the reason this blocks off is just you don't fire it while it's shooting arrows down. There would nothing technically be wrong with that, but it's just to prevent that. So now to test it, we're going to go into survival, and I'm going to teleport down there, and we'll see how much damage it does. I'm also wearing full protection 4 netherite armor, and I have a shield. So let's test it. And we're going to block. So it killed me even though I was wearing full protection 4 netherite armor. I also had a shield, and if you're wondering what happened to that, well, the arrows broke it. And the reason it was so powerful is the way that arrows in Minecraft work is that the faster they're going, the more damage they do. So we take advantage of this by making TNT shoot them really, really fast. So now for our next demonstration, we have a line of armor stands here, just so you can get a general idea of the spread of the cannon, so you can see the approximate zone that players will get damage from this cannon. So I already preloaded the arrows just so we didn't have to wait for that again. And all we have to do now is fire and watch. So you can see it obliterated pretty much all of it. There is a few small zones here that can avoid it. So, some things to note. This cannon is primarily for base defense, and in some cases, due to the spread of the cannon not covering everywhere, simple traps might work better. One thing you can do is figure out what areas the cannon won't hit and put traps there, ensuring full defensive coverage. Where this weapon really excels is being a psychological weapon. Imagine charging a base with your buddies, and half of you instantly die somehow. The attackers would be much more cautious next time, making the base much easier to defend. So a few more things about the cannon. The optimal amount of time to be charging the arrows before firing the cannon is 15 seconds to a minute. Anything less than 15 seconds won't be a good enough spread to hit all your enemies, and anything over a minute will be too many arrows. It'll be a bit overkill and cause the game to slow down a little bit, especially if you're on a server. Now to reload the arrows, you simply come over here, and you have the 3 chests, which all go into the dispensers that fire the arrows, and you can fill it all up here. To refill a TNT, you have to go into the dispensers. That's a little bit complicated, so I'd recommend you put in enough TNT from the start. 32 to a stack should be more than enough. So what you'll need to build this is as follows: 22 repeaters, 1 button of any kind, 1 lever, 2 sticky pistons, 2 observers, 14 slabs of any kind, 3 trapdoors of any kind, 3 soul sand, a couple of bulk buckets of water, around 10 kelp, 5 target blocks, a stack and 31 or 95 dispensers, 3 hoppers, 6 chests, around 2 stacks of redstone dust, 20 stairs, around 3 stacks of building blocks, and every time the cannon is fired, it will use a stack and 28 TNT, or which is 92, and then it'll also use around 5 to 15 stacks of arrows every time it is fired. Just quickly before we get into building it, a little trick I'm going to be using for the tutorial is I'll be placing a dispenser, putting some TNT into it, and I'll be using control and then whatever your pick block button is, by default the scroll wheel, and that will pick the block plus the MBT data, which means that when we place it again, it's still going to have the same stuff as the one that we pick blocked. So this just saves us from having to manually load each dispenser. I'd recommend you do it as well if you're in creative. If you're in survival, unfortunately, you will have to manually load each dispenser. Okay, so to begin building, we're going to pick which way we want our cannon to fire. We're going to be choosing that way, straight ahead. And then we're going to turn around, and we're going to jump up and place five dispensers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to grab our building blocks, and we're going to be placing 5 and 5 all around. I'm placing 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. Then we're going to be placing 6 dispensers high on each of these blocks, as well as these ones. Sorry, there's going to be a block here. But for now, we'll do 2. And hold shift so you don't accidentally open up the containers, and then we'll continue up. I'm just holding shift and space right now so I don't fly downwards, and I can still place the blocks. And then 2 more. Then we're going to go into the bed of the cannon. We're going to place a block like so. And then we're going to be placing 3 dispensers across like that, followed by, and it's going to be 2 high. And then we're going to break that block down there. We're going to be placing another building block like that. And we'll do the same thing over here. Essentially what we're doing here actually is just replicating the bed from my shotgun TNT cannon. There'll be a link to that video. But it's the same thing, just slightly modified. And we're going to be doing the same thing here. And now what we can do is just quickly plug this up here. And then what we're going to do is grab some blocks and place it across like this. All the way up until that's inconvenient. So we're going to continue placing blocks down until there's a 1 block gap here. And then just quickly before we place anything, we're going to place some water down there. Shift click for that one, and then one last one. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our trapdoors and place them like so. Now we're going to fly up to the top, and we're going to place a block here, block here, block here. And what we're going to do is place 3 dispensers like so. And now at this point you will become trapped, so it's worth getting some extra trapdoors just so you can place it like this, and then swim underneath to get out. But then, of course, the problem with that is then you'd have to break that one on your way out. But just for the sake of this video, we're just going to go into spectator mode to get out. And a quick way to get in and out of spectator mode is F3 and N. It'll just rotate you between whatever your previous game mode is. When you press it again, it'll put you back to what you were in before. So we're going to be placing our 3 dispensers like so. And when we come out, we can simply break this block here. So to begin with the wiring, we're going to be placing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks like so. And placing another set. Block here, and then we're going to grab our redstone, place redstone along like this. And we're going to be placing a repeater. All of them will be set to 1 tick delay, so you don't need to touch them. Then we'll be placing a block out like so. Like so. Oh yeah, sorry, that's already powered, so like so. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, which is and then all we have to do is add redstone to all of these blocks over here. Repeater like so. Redstone, repeater like so. And redstone, repeater, redstone. So now to begin working on the second layer, we're going to come back to the back of the cannon. We're going to be placing a block like so. We'll be placing another block there. Place a slab off it. Break that block. Another block here. Slab off that. Another block here. Slab off of that. So then what we can do is place our redstone. Take another bit of redstone. And then from here, we basically copy the same pattern. So we place all our blocks in. And then we're going to be placing all of our repeaters in and our redstone in, same as before. And then to continue on, we're going to be placing another block here and continue building our slabs up until we get to the top. Then we're placing a redstone. And we'll place a repeater here. And this is just so that all the dispensers fire in sync. And also it's just so we extend the power up here. And we're going to just place redstone on top of all of these dispensers to power them and the one below it. So for the wiring, we've now wired all the external dispensers and the ones on top and the middle ones that are on top. So now what we need to do is wire the middle ones on the bottom and the one underneath. So to do the first one in the middle on the bottom, we're going to come around to any side, it doesn't really matter. We'll place a block here, place a redstone. So now what this repeater is going to do is when it powers the dispenser, it's also going to power this redstone. So we can just have a redstone line running here. Now for this one, we can't do that unfortunately, but there is a simple solution. Simply break that redstone, place a block there. You can break that block if you want, you don't have to, but place a block here, place some blocks, have yourself a repeater, and then just have your redstone going in like so. So for the bottom, come around to any side, doesn't matter. And on the bottom, what we're going to do is we're just going to have to, unfortunately, break away a little bit, so we'll just break that way. We'll place ourselves a repeater here. Break down this block, and we cannot move that block, unfortunately, so we'll go down here until we find our dispensers on the bottom. So we're going to clear out until we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all of them. And what we're going to do is grab our target blocks, place them all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can break away some of the blocks there. And then what we'll just do is place redstone all along there, making sure they're all going into the target blocks. Then what we can do is place a block here, like so. And then the redstone will go there. And then this block placed there, so that way it powers this block, and this redstone underneath will get powered. And the way the repeater will get powered is just by... Actually, we can even cover this up too. And the way this repeater will get powered is by this redstone, because this block becomes soft powered, so that repeater will get powered off it and powered once on the bottom. Now all that's left to do for the wiring is simply placing a button on the back. And then that's it for the wiring of the explosion part. So now we're going to come around to the other side, and we are going to go here. We are going to be placing 3 blocks here, which are just temporary. And we're going to be placing some slabs around like so. And we're going to dig down 1, 2, 3, 4. So I wasn't proper counting, but we're going to be digging down 4 blocks, and we're going to dig down a 5th block. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to be placing our 3 soul sand at the bottom. And then you can place your water up on these blocks here. And then you'll notice there's no water elevator. That's because these aren't source blocks. So to make them source blocks, we're just going to place our kelp like so, all the way up. You can do this one at a time if you don't have enough kelp. I'm just then break it all down. The last one. And you'll see it all become the water elevator. Now we're just going to quickly break this and replace it. And we're going to have slabs all around like this. Then what we're going to do next is we're going to place our dispenser. We're going to take another dispenser. These ones are going to be filled with arrows. We're going to place it right here. So if this can be a bit inconvenient, so you can just go off to the side and place them like so. Just load them with arrows quickly. And make sure there's that little 1 block gap there, just so that it doesn't interfere with it. Sometimes they'll get stuck on the dispensers if they're too low. Then what we'll do is get an observer, and we'll get a block here. Place the block there. Break that. Place a block Actually, sorry, let's place another block there so you don't even have to break it. And place the observer there. And then you can break the block. Now what we have to do is grab one of our sticky pistons. Sorry. Place the block up, grab one of your sticky pistons like so. And then for this part here, so this is eventually going to be wired up to the lever over here. Then for this part, we're going to grab our 3 hoppers, go 1, 2, 3. Then we can grab our chests, go and make some double chests. Fill them with arrows if you want. You have to if you want to fire it. Then we're going to grab our stairs, and we're going to grab our blocks, and we're going to build a rim around like so. And this is mainly to obscure the storage, just because you don't want your enemies charging your base and seeing the cannon and seeing the chest and being able to grab like the arrows out of it and disarm the cannon. So you want to kind of hide it a little bit. And we're going to place our stairs like this. And this just allows us so you can still access all 3 chests. So now all that's left to do is to wire up the piston to the lever. So we're going to go and be placing 4 blocks out from there. And we're going to be placing redstone dust on it. Then we're going to go 3 blocks like that. Place redstone dust off of it. Place a block down. You can break that block after placing another one. And place the additional 2 blocks for now. Place the redstone there, and then we'll place a repeater here. Place 2 more blocks here, 2 more redstone, and then we're going to begin our descent. Like so. We'll go down 1 more. And across. And then from here, what we have to do is place the lever on top here. And then, technically speaking, it's done, but I just like to clean up a little bit. And also implement the system to block off the button, just so you don't accidentally fire it when it's still dispensing arrows. Which, nothing really wrong with that. It would just waste some arrows, so you just want to prevent that. So we're going to be placing some blocks off of the button there. Then we're going to grab ourselves another sticky piston. Sorry, break a block down, put the sticky piston there, place a block there, and then underneath the redstone, or sorry, underneath the lever, we're not going to be placing a sticky piston, we're placing some redstone. That'll go down like this, like so, and then you can just build up a little floor. Don't think that'll interfere, no. And you just build yourself a nice little floor and a nice little wall here just to clean up a little bit. And you just want to leave this part there so you can climb up here to refill the arrows. And then just to test it, we'll flip the lever. You see it blocks off nicely. And the arrows are firing down. And then when you want to stop charging it, you stop flipping, you want to flip the lever, exposing the button, which you can then fire it. And it works perfectly. And I've been Generic Redstone Genius. I'll catch you in the next video.